So we optioned Loizaga after the game today, with Cole being activated tomorrow. And then there's a good chance that Lowe would come back and pitch one of the doubleheader days when we're in Baltimore.
Okay. Meredith?
Just with that pitching move, how rough a shape is your bullpen in for tomorrow?
Obviously we went through a lot of guys tonight and threw a lot of pitches, so we'll be a little challenged tomorrow, but we'll kind of work through it, and with 2 games and then the off day behind it, we'll have to be cautious a little bit tomorrow, but with Cole coming back, between Cole and Hale, we feel like we're covered from a length situation with both those guys being able to give us pretty good length.
Why do you think Loizaga ran into trouble there in that 4th inning?
I thought he threw the ball okay. He just, again, having a hard time putting guys away. If he gets ahead in the count, that pitch that is a ball out of the hand up here, just continuing to work on making that pitch, when he's trying to get a chase, when he's ahead in the count, starting it in the strike zone. And, they fouled off a lot of pitches against him, ran his pitch count up pretty high. So just had a hard time putting guys away when he had the opportunity.
Did you think Judge had that ball late in the game?
You know what? I thought he had a pretty good beat on it. I haven't seen the replay of it yet. I knew he got himself into a pretty good position. But I couldn't tell how close he came to it. I haven't seen it yet.
Does it add to the frustration of a loss when you have so many opportunities over 12 with runners in scoring position?
Sure. But then again, that's part of it. And, it's we're a team that we want to put them out there. And more often than not, we'll come through in those situations, or at least come through every now and then in those situations. But we just couldn't get over the hump tonight. So it's a little frustrating. But that's part of it too, and you give them credit tonight; they got it done.
Vac to the right.
Aaron, from where you're sitting, are you tracking Judge more than you're tracking the ball? And when you finish it, wherever your eyes line up at the wall, is it still surprising to you that just because he comes so close to that, and because he's so tall, that he wasn't able to pull that the ball?
Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of follow the ball initially, and then watching him kind of approach the wall and put himself in position. So I knew it looked like he was going to have a chance at it, but I actually thought initially that he got it a little more, that he wasn't going to have a play on it. But again, I haven't seen the replay to know how close he came to it.
Back to the left in the middle.
Out of the bases loaded in the 10th, did any thoughts of using Drury there?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a close call. But with the bases loaded situation there, and it being tied, the walk comes into play. So the on-base factor, which is why I stuck with Bird there, and his ability to get on. If it was a different situation where you need the hit or something, then maybe it's a different play, coupled with the fact that, Drew was the last guy we had on the bench, and we're tied, and, we're dealing with Rowe, who's a little beat up, obviously, and so just being a little cautious with just a couple things that happened within the game.
What did you think of the at-bat from Gray? Just, I guess, made a few pretty good pitches, or what was your...
Say it again?
What was your take just on his at-bat there?
Well, Biddle really buckled down. I felt like the last 2 hitters, where he was a little bit out of the zone. I thought we had some good at-bats against him, and then all of a sudden he starts making pitches. In that situation, lefty on he gets ahead of you with the fastball. Probably a pitch you want to try and attack, and then he spins one on you and then chases you up the ladder. So, I was hoping for a little more, but, it didn't work out.
We've talked about Glaber in the field making some errors that he probably would not like to make. In that situation, is it more frustrating when it seems like it's not a routine play because of where he's positioned, but
Right.
a play he probably should make?
No, and just the skip out there, I mean, look, yeah, I want him to make the play, obviously, but I mean, it's going to happen every now and then. I don't think it was, I felt like some of his errors early were, maybe a little bit of result of being new at second and not finishing the play on a couple of times where he gets a little bit lax. I don't think that was the case there. I just think it was one of those situations where, being as deep as he was, a little bit of an in-between hop, and then when he couldn't find the ball right away, that took it out of play. I think the way he played it, if he realized where the ball was right away, I think he gets up and throws him out. But no, I think that was just an error of baseball getting him out. It wasn't one of the early ones where I felt like he'd get a little lax with finishing the play.
Brendan, Brian.
I know you haven't made the lineup yet for tomorrow, but do you think Drury in at first base with a lefty coming up?
There's a chance. Newcomb's a little bit of a heavy split the other way, but that's something I got to check on our guys and take inventory and see how everyone came out of this one. But I'll probably, go over with some guys my thoughts and what I'm thinking for tomorrow, but I haven't made that decision yet.
Brian.
Ninth inning, Glaber starts it off with a single. What's your thought process in having Gardner swing the bat there instead of bunting and moving him over?
Well, if we bunt and we're successful, we take the bat out of Judge's hand. And if we had the same situation earlier or the time at bat before where Gardner walks, bottom line is I think statistically it would play out when you're at the top of the order like that and you have two guys that get on base as much as Gardy and Judge, you're at least as inclined to score by not giving them an out in that situation. When you have two high on base guys, if one of them gets on base, you're basically in the same scenario if you bunt and make an out on purpose. So it basically is personnel there and not wanting the bat taken out of Judge's hand, which if we're successful getting them over, that's what happens. So, I mean, I'm quite certain I feel like it's the right play.
Anyone else? Thank you, Aaron.
Yep.